Okay, hello. So today we're doing day 3, which is getting the reed to actually play. For today you're going to need your reeds, water cup, your knife or knives, some sharpening equipment, your plaque, razor blade, cutting block, a tuner, and finally your oboe. Now, a note about your oboe for reed making: you don't want to make reeds with your oboe on your lap. The reason for this is that you may end up getting some like loose bits of cane fall into your oboe, and it may cause leaks because the cane will latch onto like the cork pads. And obviously we want those pads to seal over the tone hole, so we don't want them to interfere with that. All right, so let's get started. So today I have 2 of my own reeds for us. So we're going to see where they crow. Okay. So this first one's crowing a little sharp, and it's a little bit harder to get the crow out today, which is perfectly normal. The reed will harden overnight. So the first thing I like to do is from the top of the heart, I like to take a little bit more out of the tip. And I'll do that on both sides. And then once I've done that, I go from the back all the way to the top of the heart, about 6 times. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now if I've done my job correctly, it should crow easier, but also a little flat. Let me give it a little bit of a dip in the water. Which is exactly what happened. It's easier, but it's quite a bit easier, but it's also a little flat. So now I gotta clip a little bit. Still a little flat, and that's okay. All right, let's see if it'll actually play any notes. Okay, so it does play. All right, so for testing my reeds, I like to keep in mind that there are 4 things that go into what is a good reed: response, pitch, tone, and stability. Some reed makers will just talk about the first 2, or rather the first 3, which are response, pitch, and tone, because if you get the first 2, the other one should follow. So if you get response and pitch, tone should naturally just be good. And the same thing happens with the stability or the flexibility of the reed. Okay, and by flexibility and stability, I mean like not just stability of like pitch and overall response, but rather the different colors you can get in the reed. Okay, so for testing my reeds for a response, I like to do 4 low B flats in a row, then 4 aspirated low Ds and 4 aspirated high Ds. By aspirated, I just mean like air attack only. Okay, so no tongue on the low Ds and high Ds. Okay. Okay, so that third one it failed. it's holding back a little bit when it's coming to articulating the notes, and part of that is just that it just needs a little bit more definition at the top of the heart. So that's where I'm going to concentrate my knife work, right at the very top of the heart, making sure that chevron or house top is very clear when I look at it against the backlight, or against the light, I should say, when the reed itself is backlit. Okay. It's peeping already a little sharper, and the crow is decent. Overall, it's just a little flat, especially that high D. That high D was really flat. So time to give it another clip. Now it's also crowing a C, whereas before it was crowing a B. Good. Now that high D is manageable. Once I get the reed playing, I do like to play on it just a little bit, just to kind of help break it in and convince it of where the pitch should be. And that is getting a little bit better as I play it, which is nice, but it's still getting a little resistance. And as I'm looking at the reed, I'm noticing that the back isn't going far enough back, so I'm gonna try to clean that up a little bit and go a little bit into the rails, just to kind of thin those out, or rather narrow them down. And if I did my job correctly, the reed should vibrate a little bit easier now. So that's this. That's this read. I think it goes there. Let me double check. Oh, nope. This one's actually over here on 12. All right. Let's go with one more read. While this one's soaking, I'll resharpen my knives a little bit. Yeah, always remember the first rule of reed making. Have a sharp knife. Rule number 2 is see rule number 1. Okay, let's see where this read is today. Okay, this one's ridiculously sharp. It's crowing a C sharp, so we really need to get that down to a C. Now remember that reed making is a subtractive process. You can always take cane off, but you cannot put it back. So it's better to be safe rather than sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Let's see where you're peeping and crowing. All right. There is something up there at the front of the crow and the peeping that I don't like, and I'm assuming it's just that the tip itself is probably a little uneven. Nope, that was not it. Okay. I'm gonna take this just a little bit further back. Do a little bit of that. Just to help put a little bit more of a cushion on this reed. Okay. I'm not totally convinced by this reed, but we'll see what happens as I play it a little bit. Yeah, not totally convinced because I think the tip is just too long. It feels flabby and unfocused. I'm not totally convinced by this reed. That feels a little better, and it'll hopefully sound a little better too. Ooh, yep. Okay. That is a little better. Whoops. Okay. So this reed that started out a little bit troublesome ended up being better. It plays really smoothly and it has a nice sound. So the last thing that I have to do with both of these reeds is just excuse me, just rate them. I give them ratings on 1 to 4 on each of the on each of those things. So like response for the first one was 3.5. Pitch was also passable at 3.5. Tone was at 3.5, and so was stability. Now the way that I work with my reeds is that I rate each of those properties out of 4 and then I average them out. This one was more of a 3.5 pitch. Yeah, about 3.52. Tone right there. Stability, yeah, also 3.5. So that way I can best keep track of what my reeds are doing, what I like, what I don't like, and in general, like what diameter each piece of cane is and all that other junk. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope this helps.